This is More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. We welcome you into another edition of More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. And if you haven't listened to all of my previous episodes yet, I invite you to do so you kind of get a feel for what we're doing here. It's instead of interviews, they're just fun conversations and kind of loosey-goosey atmosphere. And we'd like to see where it takes us. And if you haven't yet, we'd love you to like, subscribe, share, follow me on all social media platforms. That would be awesome if you did that. Today, we're talking with someone I really admire, someone who shows that when you have perseverance, when you go after what you want, you can achieve. We welcome Brandon Williams. He is a vice president, business and event operations for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Ka-Kaw is the
Ka-Kaw.
law.
Let's go. Thank you for having me, Randy. I appreciate it, and excited to dive in. I've been watching you for years, so this is really cool.
Well, obviously, I think I covered you also in high school when you played at Hazelwood East, and of course, your trajectory to the NFL. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the St. Louis Battlehawks, the UFL team. Got to get used to saying that because the XFL and the USFL have now merged. It was announced on New Year's Day on the NFL on Fox that it is now one. Spring football is back, and these two leagues have merged, which I think is awesome. But I think your story is amazing. And I got to learn more about it through watching you, not only on all of your broadcasting, but again, through high school, Hazelwood East, and then you went to University of Wisconsin, and then you went to the NFL. Who are you with? The Niners, St. Louis Rams, and then the
Steelers.
And the Steelers. So amazing teams. And now you are helping run a team. Is this what you envisioned for yourself when you started playing football at Hazelwood East?
Heck no. I wanted to go to college. So my first 2 years in college, I was a theater major. I wanted to be an actor.
I could see you and Denzel on the screen for sure.
I was just saying, you said it, I didn't. I wanted to get into acting. I like I said, I didn't want to do like Broadway. I really wanted to be on the screen, whether it was sitcom or movies or whatnot. That was something I was interested in. Then I changed my major, went into business and communications. But then getting into broadcasting post NFL was like the way to be on TV and behind the camera, but still being connected to football. And it was like acting with statistics and analysis of the game. So it kind of filled that void a little bit. And once I left the NFL, I was like, I'm gonna be on College Game Day one day. That was my whole thing of going into broadcasting, because I did once I stopped doing the theater, I did go right into communications, which I was taking broadcast classes, doing radio, TV, film production, all that type of stuff. Not film, but radio, TVs, everything that you do right now. Like you the one man army.
Right.
I had a class where it was me and one of my classmates, and we had to produce radio shows weekly. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. So I really liked doing that. So that was pretty cool.
And then when you started doing things, not only locally here in St. Louis, I know Martin Kilcoyne helped you kind of get your feet wet a little bit, right? What did you learn from Martin? We both love him. What specifically did you learn from Martin that you now take into your day-to-day?
Yeah, Martin is really a guy who really attacks the story. Like he really wants to know the inside and the ups and downs of like, what was it like? How did it happen? Not just, all right, this stat here, that's this stat there, and this announcement, and then that's just what it is. No, he always likes to kind of go behind the curtain and really understand what was the thought process around a lot of stuff. So that's one thing when I first approached him, because I was doing some interviews with the Big Ten Network, and I had I was getting ready to go on to the Big Ten Network in the fall, but I hadn't finalized any deal or anything yet. And so I had sent him my little demo that I did with the Big Ten Network, which was terrible. It was horrible, by the way. I look back at some of this old tape and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Oh, we all have those tapes.
And so, but immediately he was like, "Hey, come on to Rams pregame." And so it was just like meeting the old friend and saying, "Hey, come on and let's do what we're doing right now. Let's just have a conversation about the upcoming game and what happened and stuff like that." And so I was truly grateful.
Well,
Uh,
it's such a perfect fit, obviously, because it's what you know. And it's not like
yeah,
they're going to say, oh, tell me about the aspects of carpentry that you love the most. No, it's football. It's what you know.
yes, no, and it worked out. I did that for 5 years while simultaneously doing Big Ten Network. So it was a really great experience. I got to stay close to the Rams team and go down to practice sometimes and do certain things and just be connected. And did it on TV for 5 years here in my hometown again, right? You know, just in your hometown on TV. That's really a cool thing experience.
Yeah, that
And
is
you,
cool.
I know you get this all the time too. It was like all these people they would come up to me and they would look at me. They'd be like, "Man, I know you from somewhere."
Right,
I'd be
right.
like, no, I just got a familiar face, man. I just got a familiar face. I don't know what you're talking about.
It doesn't
So
end,
yeah,
especially now that you're in the position you're in. And I know recently this past fall, you won the prestigious Jack Buck Award from the Missouri Athletic Club.
yes,
And I was really taken by your acceptance speech. You got emotional. You named and talked about your trajectory to where you are today. And this is before the UFL was announced. I mean,
yeah,
we all kind of knew something was cooking, but it wasn't official.
right.
What did winning that award, the Jack Buck Award in St. Louis, your hometown, mean to you?
That really meant a lot because again, I didn't even really know what the Jack Buck specific award was. I knew about the actual, Jack Buck Awards ceremony, but I didn't know the specific award. So when they reached out to me and said, "Hey, you've been awarded this. We're giving you this award," I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" like stop it. And so then I started looking at the previous award winners and just, obviously you understand who Jack Buck is.
Yeah.
When you look at, you know, Yogi Berra,
Bob
uh,
Gibson,
Bob
Yadier
Gibson,
Molina,
Van
so many.
Musial,
Yeah.
Yachty, Aeneas Williams, Hall of Famer. So it's like, whoa, this is actually really, really cool. And just putting it in perspective, this is St. Louis history. It's St. Louis history. So I'm excited to be in St. Louis history now, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really a beautiful evening. And again, your speech was just so moving and so touching. And I know it meant so much to have your family there. It was just really, really nice to be a witness to. It was awesome.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah, so now let's transition to what's going on with what you do today. You are, and your title is Business and Event Operations for the St. Louis Battlehawks. You basically oversee everything regarding game day: marketing, communications, game day operations, community relations, ticket sales, sponsorship sales. Like if no, if your career trajectory did not prepare you for this moment, I don't know what did.
Yeah, it's really serendipitous how it all kind of came together, right? Because just like you said, I can reflect on every moment in my career post NFL, and just so I was a life coach. I was a certified life coach. I was a certified leadership development trainer. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing. I was a general manager for a construction staffing company where I had a team, and all of these different things played into
Yeah.
the role that I'm currently in right now. And in about a year and a half before I got the 2 years before I got the role, I went back to school to get my MBA. And I was like, well, I went to Lindenwood, got my MBA, and I said either I'm doing entrepreneurial studies or I'm going to focus in on sports management. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do sports management MBA because that's very specific. So I'll do entrepreneurial, be a little bit more general. I've been a part of startups and things of that nature already. So it was just kind of layering on some of the stuff that I had already been doing in my career. And but I said the reason I'm getting this MBA though is to become an executive at a sports team.
That is
And I
awesome.
said it could be hockey, basketball, football. It didn't soccer. It didn't really matter. I was just like, I want to get in the C suites one day. I said one day, right? And I was still working at Anheuser-Busch, and so just kind of happened.
So you're considered, or you might be, the youngest sports executive in St. Louis now, right?
Yeah, at the time when I first got the job in November of 22, I was 38 at the time. I just turned 40. So I'm assuming that no one else has been hired in the last 2 years that's under 40. So I think I still hold the title as the youngest exec.
That's cool. And let's go back to the MBA that you learned you earned from Lindenwood, and you ended up writing a book, Millionaire Mindset: 7 Principles Athletes Need for Financial Freedom.
Yeah,
We hear nightmare stories of rookies signing huge deals, getting huge signing bonuses, and blowing it. And
yeah.
what was the reason for you to put this together? And do you know of any athlete in particular in any sport who has benefited from your knowledge and what you said, and you basically saved them from financial ruin? Because let's be honest, being a sports athlete, being a professional athlete, your lifespan is this big. It's very, very short. So they have to plan for the future.
No, you're correct. So when I wrote that book, I was actually a financial advisor at the time. I was working at Northwestern Mutual. I was certified Series 7, 66 financial planner, all of that stuff. And I said, what is one of the best ways to market myself without marketing myself?
Right.
And I said, well, if I write a book, it'll give me credibility and authority in the space. So the book is not telling you what stocks to pick and how to structure your finances. It's really an overarching mindset of what you need to have as an athlete to navigate, like you said, somebody getting $500,000 overnight. That's crazy, right?
Mm.
And so I have a younger brother who played in the NFL too. He's 7 years younger than me. So he was like my little case study.
Oh,
And
nice.
everything I did post NFL, I did like I helped him pick his agent. So it was if I would have went into the sports agent route, he would have been my first client because he was my first client as a financial advisor. So I decided to do financial services and try to help athletes that way. In retrospect, I probably, if I'd have went and became an agent, I still could have helped them. And I think I may have had a little bit more success if I would have focused on being an agent as opposed to financial advisor. Because you, as an advisor, you can't just hang your hat on just athlete clients starting
Right.
out. But
Right.
as an agent, I could have got a lot of guys
Yeah.
to rock with me. So, but that was really, I wanted to write this book to help him. I really wrote this book so that he would have a blueprint to not mess up his money like I did.
So do you think that he has gotten a lot of help from your book and your advice, and is he in a good space now?
Oh yeah. No, he avoided a lot of, financial things. He's got some stuff set up for himself. We did a few different things financially for him when he first got it drafted. So he played for 4 years. He was a 6th round pick. So he didn't have as much money up front, but he had a nice amount. We put it away. We did some things with it, and now he's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
He hasn't touched that money in a while.
I'd be too scared, to be honest with you. Let's transition to where you are today, and where you sit in your position with the UFL and the St. Louis Battlehawks. First of all, I must say I went to one game in the inaugural season, and then it got shut down because of the pandemic and all that. I could not believe my eyes. There were grown folks dressed as birds, and they're walking around saying Ka-Kaw, and they're doing all this crazy stuff. Let me tell you, it was one, and you know me, I've been around a lot of sporting events, Super Bowls, World
Yeah.
Series, NHL playoffs, and Stanley Cup. That was one of the most electric and fun atmospheres I've ever been around. Is it gonna continue?
It's the same way. We call it a frat party with a football game.
Yeah,
And so we have a lot of fun with it. Our fans, or the St. Louis fans, period, are insane. They
yes.
are the best fans in the country. They represent, they show up, they don't take no crap when you say anything about them. And so the cool thing about the Battlehawk fans from 2020, the Battlehawk fans from the last iteration, and then now it's been this thread of connectivity through chats and through
Right.
Facebook groups. So they never stopped talking when the league shut down the first time.
Oh, I'm a member of a Battlehawks Facebook page just because I love to see the chatter.
There you go. So you already understand. These people never stopped talking about the Battlehawks. And so this groundswell of representation and love for the St. Louis Battlehawks is something that has been built over the last 4 years. And it's been all fan driven. It's been all fan led. And we're excited to continue to have the opportunity to present good football. I think
And
that's one of the things that people have to understand. This is not gimmicky football. These are not dudes that can't make it to the NFL. These are dudes who are trying to get another shot, or they're one little step away.
right.
And this is some really good football, and it's entertaining outside of anything that's entertaining,
And,
right?
and it is designed to be an NFL feeder league, correct? Similar to the minor leagues in baseball or the lower tiers
I
in
think
basketball.
that's what I believe that's what they hope. That's what they want to get to. And I think that's why two leagues is not sustainable,
Right.
right? You bring it all together so you can start to create some more sustainability. You bring more resources together, bring all the eyeballs in one place so that the NFL can see like this is a viable league. You should, NFL, probably put some resources over here so this thing can grow, right?
That's awesome that they did and they're on board. And how many, I know that, is it Heineke, the quarterback who, made it back
Taylor
to the
Heineke,
NFL?
yeah.
Yeah, 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 made it back to the NFL. And a lot of players that you see in this game have now made it back to the NFL, whether it's a backup or a practice squad or whatever. They're in the NFL, they're in the show, which is
Yeah.
great. But do not sleep on the UFL and the St. Louis Battlehawks, because when I tell you, I'm a goof, I like to have fun. I love the X's and O's of the game. I love that there are different rules, especially when it comes to extra points and things in the UFL and with the Battlehawks. I really like the differences and the nuances of the game. Um,
Yeah.
do you see down the line that the NFL might look to possibly adopt some of the UFL rules and regulations?
I think it's possible. I think some of the things that we do, they don't take away from the tradition and nostalgia of the NFL. They really just enhance the game for the next wave of fan, right? Because
Mhm.
we know how fandom we know how this country is trending generationally, right? There's a generation of baby boomers who are trending out. There's Gen Z, Gen Y, whatever they are, X Y Z, all them gens. They love the game. They like to look at the game in a different way. They like to That's why Nickelodeon has become big, because you
Right.
get all these different viewpoints of the game, and so you're creating fans who want different experiences. And I think some of the stuff we do in overtime, how we do no field goals, you got to go for it from the 5 or the 10 or
I
whatever.
love
That's
that.
so much fun. No onside kicks. Now, I think stuff like that can really translate well into the NFL, because the NFL is all about creating talking points.
Right.
What else can we do for people to talk about us, right?
And let's be honest, when you had the inaugural season of the St. Louis Battlehawks, a lot of people said, "Oh, the fans are just filling the dome to stick it to Cronky as a spiteful thing." But
Yeah.
as each game kept going, you had to open up another tier and another tier and another tier because of ticket demand. And I don't think it's a stick it to Cronky thing anymore, which there are a lot of people who are still pissed off about what happened with the St. Louis Rams. but I think there is a genuine thirst and a genuine need for professional football in St. Louis.
No, people are genuinely excited about football. We love the game of football here in St. Louis. We have this love-hate relationship, but the thread has always been we want to support from all the way from youth, high school. Now I'm excited that you look at Lindenwood, they have the first Division I football program. And so I think that is going to create a trend where a lot of our talent actually, when you look at the college landscape, has an avenue to say, I didn't make it, or I don't like my experience at this university. Let me come back home
Yeah.
because I still can play major college football at home in St. Louis. That is like you being a sports veteran here. That's unheard of. That's
Yeah.
unheard of. And so
Well, I mean, you look at the stories that are in the NFL. Brock Purdy, he was the last guy drafted in the NFL draft, and he ended up in the freaking Super Bowl. So,
yeah,
the stories like that are crazy. And with so many people and so many teams, there are so many stories, which is why I love sports and why I love covering sports. I love stories such as yours and the Brock Purdy's and the Taylor Heineke's. I love all those stories. I'm not really a stat person,
yeah.
but I love the stories. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of what's coming up at the Dome. First of all, you played there, as a professional. Did you play there when you were in high school too?
I played the state championship game.
So is that kind of a freaky full circle, free circle moment for
It
you
is.
to go back in the Dome and say, oh my gosh, this used to be my office and now it is again?
Yeah, and again, I think the story is so unique. Is there's nobody else who played in high school, played in the NFL, and then covered the team as a
Right.
commentator, and now the team that I run plays in that same venue. That's unheard. I mean, it's nobody else who's ever done that, so I'm the first to do that.
That's
Um,
pretty darn
and so
cool.
it is very nostalgic. When I last year when I stood on the field for our opening game and just was taking it all in, I was taken aback a little bit, and it was a very exciting, really cool full circle moment for me. And so, I'm appreciative and blessed to even experience that. So
Wow.
it's been really cool.
Well, let's talk about the season ahead. Single game tickets start at just $18. There are only 5 home games in the Dome.
Yeah.
And and I'm sure you've heard this, April 6th is your home opener coming up soon. But the Cardinals are also playing at home. St. Louis City SC is also playing at home, all in the same day. It's going to be a St. Louis Sports-a-palooza that day.
If you are a St. Louis sports fan, the spring is your time. Because I mean, nobody would have ever imagined that you could get soccer, baseball, and football all in the same day. And I'm sure there's some concert going on too. That's all I'm
Probably.
saying. And so, but the way that it's stacked, you could go see. So our game is at 7. I think you can go to the Cardinals. What time is the Cardinals game? It might
Cardinals
be.
game is 1:15.
Yeah, so you could actually hit multiple games and have a crazy St. Louis sports weekend.
Yeah.
And we have other games later on in the season where we go up against the Cardinals again, where we have, I think it's 11:30 game. We got like April 20th, and the Cardinals play at 1:30. You literally can come to our game at 11:30, leave our game at 2 o'clock, and catch the rest of the Cardinals game and be having a
You
blast.
got people writing that down and
That's
making
all
their
I'm
plans.
saying. Like you don't have to exclude or miss anything. You can come see everything. So that's
That is
what's really
awesome.
exciting. And that's right here in St. Louis. And let's think about that. And how many other cities can you catch football, baseball, soccer all in the same
And
afternoon or
all
same
within
weekend?
walking distance
All
too.
within walking
That is
distance
awesome.
and premier teams.
Right, right.
Not teams at the bottom of the barrel. These are all premier teams that's playing really well.
All right, so we talked about the tickets are available. Single game tickets start at just $18,
Yep.
which is music to my ears because as I know families want to bring their kids and I know kids want to experience professional sports, but let's be honest, it's out of reach for a lot of people because of the pricing. So tickets start at $18 and the 400 level is going to be open already. You don't have to
Well, Yeah,
Stack it.
no, 400 level is already open. We've been doing really well in the 400 level. Again, we'll have our tailgate experience will be back. There'll be plenty of games for kids to play with. There'll be plenty of beverages and libations and food and music and entertainment down there. We're excited for this, April 6th, obviously, to kick it off. We want to do something really cool. We haven't quite figured out exactly what cool experience we want to have. I got a few ideas that I'm starting to really work on. And so we just want to make sure that the experience is engaging for the fans, that they have a great time, that they have something that they could talk about. They can talk about how cool it was when they went to the Battlehawks game, and we need to get a victory. But that's not on us. That's on Coach Beck and squad. And
Yeah.
so that's really it. That's really
That's
it.
awesome.
We're gonna do some really cool stuff. Probably gonna have a giant flag out there or something. And we just gonna entertain people with the game of football, which everybody loves it.
Well, if you build on what you already had where I went, it's surreal. It's really fun. And you got to learn the Ka-Kaw is the law. That's the
Is the
battle.
law.
Ka-Kaw is the law. And I want to hear about the new all-inclusive area. It's called the Battlehawk Bridge. What is that and where is it in the dome?
So the Battlehawk Bridge is on the 300 level. And it's the old, if you're familiar, I know you're familiar, it's the old Clarkson Jewelers Club.
Okay.
So it holds about 300 something people. It has low seating, so like a couch with a TV. And we already sold out all of. We sold those out like in a heartbeat.
Kaboom.
It was crazy how fast those sold out. They have a big bar up there. They have flat screen TVs. They have pool tables. It's a really cool environment. That's where I may be hanging out just a little bit.
We'll know where to find you.
Yeah. Maybe catch me up there a couple times.
Well, if anybody listening or watching wants to know where they can get tickets and be a part of a truly unforgettable game day experience at the St. Louis Battlehawks, how can they do so?
Yeah, they can go to theufl.com/tickets and find everything you need to know. They're starting to have the individual sites popping up on the UFL website as well. So you'll be able to start seeing media feeds, pictures. We just started camp, so people check it out. Our social media is awesome as well. Our social media coordinator does a really good job. We just announced that our town hall will be on 314 Day this year at Ballpark Village. It's going to be rocking. It's going to start at 5:30. It's free to the public, Randy. It's free. Come on out. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a free concert. We're going to have Daryl the Moose Johnson, one of the all-time greats of the NFL, who is our president of football operations. We're going to have Russ Brandon, who's the president of the business side. We're going to have Coach Beck talking about this upcoming season, how things are going in camp. I think it's perfect for us because camp would have been going on for 2 weeks, so now they can talk about what the team looks like, how is things progressing, what should we expect for kickoff and all that type of stuff. So I think it's a great opportunity for St. Louis to engage UFL officials, engage Coach Beck, and just have some fun.
Yeah, and see grown folks dressed as birds. There's nothing like it. Seriously.
We're gonna have some nice merch.
Cool.
We do have some merch down at the Cardinals Stadium in their shop. So that's another place where people can come check us out, get your Ka-Kaw on, get your hoodies and your t-shirts and all that stuff. And so we're gonna be doing some giveaways too. So get ready for that.
All right, 314. We cannot wait for it. And the home opener, April 6th, of course. I call it the St. Louis Sports-a-Palooza, and we guys are a part of it. Brandon Williams, thank you so much for joining us from the St. Louis Battlehawks. I appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you.
See you at the Dome.
This has been More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. Be sure to like or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.